feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Good evening to you all on this Saturday. If you're in America, Saturday evening, but if you're in Australia, it is Sunday afternoon right now. A lot going on in Australia today. If you are anywhere on the eastern seaboard, you will probably know that there are protests going on in basically every city today. So today there are huge protests happening. They are coined as anti-mass immigration protests. This is what is going on. You know, there's a lot of expectation that these may turn violent at some point. I don't know if it will, but they just think there's going to be some bad actors out there. So we'll see what happens. If I see anything pop up while we're on the air, I will bring it to you. But right now, it's pretty somewhat quiet or somewhat contained is the word I would use. But they're literally telling people to stay out of the city until it's over. So they're telling everyone in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, unless you're going to protest, that you should stay out of the city areas for now. Hey, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Nice to be back. It was nice to have so many people email me after last night's show with their own stories of going through the medical system in their country or even in Australia. So that was very nice of people that could understand the stresses and just how difficult it can be. You know, we've been in and out of this for years, but this particular illness has been for like the last 18 months. So it's not over yet. We have another one next year. So next year we have to do this all over again sometime next year. So it's, you know, that's always fun. Hey, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Hey, Danny gifted a membership. I appreciate it. Wait, why won't that come up? There we go. Danny gifted a membership. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Carolina said, happy ping anniversary to me. Thanks for not blocking me. Hey, we don't block people here. Laurie became a member. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good to see you all. So I jumped on a little early because I want to give you an update on something that has nothing to do with true crime. So that's why I hopped on a few minutes early so I could tell you the story. All right. I want to tell you the story. So yesterday I told you about the orders at Woolworths, right? And I kept telling you how I ordered online because they give you like massive discounts if you order online. And then they always tell me it's out of stock. But when I go to pick up the order, I go into the supermarket and it's literally sitting there on the shelf. And I'm like, how do they miss picking up the item? Anyway, it happened at one near my home. And then I was like, well, I'll go to one that's further away. And it happened at the same thing. Same exact thing happened. And when I left the show last night, I went to go pick up the groceries. And I walked into the supermarket and they had the item on the shelf. This is where it gets a little strange. So I picked up the ones that I wanted. I walked to the counter and I asked the girls, like, hey, this is the situation. I just want to get a price match because you told me it was out of stock, but it's not. And I'm not going to do another online order because you can't. There's like a minimum spend. You have to spend like over $50. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that after I just picked up an order like 2 minutes ago. And I'm not going to sit here for like an hour. So I was like, can you just price match it? Because it's basically your fault. You said it wasn't in stock. And she's like, well, I can't do that. You have to go to the front counter. And I was like, fine, I'll go to the front counter. So I went to the front counter, spoke to a young guy there. And this is where it all went a bit weird. So I explained the same situation to him. I said, hey, look, it was just out of stock when you guys picked it on the order. But I want to get a price match because, well, it's here in the store. So it should have been supplied in my order. And he's nodding along and he's nodding along. And I'm like, okay, he gets what I'm talking about. Good. It means we'll probably get to a resolution here. It's pretty simple. Just price match it to the online price. And then he goes, yeah, I can help you out. And I'm like, great. And he goes to me, he says, so what I want to do is, at first he's like, so I knew what he was going to say. He's like, I want to charge you for one item and then give you the other one for free. So he's like, basically, it's half price. It's better than the special you would have got online, and it makes it easier for him. But that's not what happened. That is not what happened. This is what happened. He said to me, how would you like your refund, on cash or card? And I said, I don't have the card with me because she had it in the car to pick up the order. And he's like, I'll just give you some cash. So he opens up the till, pulls out money from the till, gives it to me, and then hands me the items and says, have a good day. And I picked up the money and the items and walked out of the store, went down to the car, and I told Mrs. Ping, I was like, I don't understand what just happened. And she's like, what happened? And I told her, I said, he gave me money, gave me the items, and told me to leave. And I was like, what? I've never ever had that happen in my life. Like, he just basically gave me free money and free items and went, have a good day. So it was just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what happened, but somehow I walked out with $30 worth of stock and $15 in cash, and I didn't hand over any money. I I don't know what happened, and I don't know why he did that, because I thought we came to an agreement that, like, in our conversation, I thought we came to an agreement that I would just pay for one and take the second one, and it was sort of like, half price, and that would have satisfied the issue. Instead, he he gave me money and then just gave me the items and just I don't know, he's like, "See ya." He's like, "I've got other customers to deal with." I have never, ever had something like that happen to me in my life. It was so bizarre, and I felt super guilty because I was like, "This is not my money." And then I asked Mrs. Ping, I was like, "Should we take it back?" And she's like, "I don't think you could explain it even if you could. Like, if you went back and he wasn't there," she goes, "I don't think they would believe you even if you tried to explain it to them." She's like, "It's better to just leave." So I was like, "Okay." I was like, "We're just gonna leave." But that was so strange. I still struggle with it in my mind because I don't understand. He paid you to get the hell out? No, I was really kind to him. Like, I'm not rude to people in public or whatever. I'm nice to people. I was really nice, like, "Look, I understand." And I said to him, I said, "I know the workers are really hard done by. You you only get, like, 5-10 seconds to pick each item or whatever. Like, I get why they didn't pick it up off the shelf." So I was like, "No, I was really nice." I don't know, he just handed me money and items. Maybe it was the end of his shift, and he was just like, I don't get paid enough to deal with this. I don't get paid enough to deal with guys like this or problems like this. They're paying me $17 an hour. I don't, I'm just a worker here. I don't give a stuff what he has or what he takes." Yeah. Chipmunk said, "Don't ever grow boobs then, Ping." Yeah, I hope I don't. Some weird things happen like that and you just go with it. Is that what it's like to be a woman? Is that what it's is that what it's like to be a woman in life? Is that what it's like to be a hot girl? Joe Neal said, "Were you being difficult?" No, I'm never mean or rude to anyone except for I like to scream and shout at random things in my home when I'm frustrated with stuff, but I'm not ever rude to people. Like, you have to really fuck me off to really get the nasty side of Ping. But I'm not going to go ballistic or nuclear at someone over a shopping mistake. A courier, on the other hand, maybe. A courier, on the other hand, you might get the wrath of Ping. Yeah, that was. I don't know what happened, but we ended up with yeah, two two lots of the item that I wanted and $15 in cash. I still can't explain it. Carolina said, "There used to be a law if they overcharge you, they have to give you back 3 times the overcharge." I don't know unless he thought no, like, that's a weird thing. He asked me, he's like, "Okay, fine, I can help you, but you have to show me the receipt from the online shopping." And I'm like, "Great, I'll log into my account on my phone and show you." So I showed him and he saw it. It said not supplied or whatever. And Like, he's like, "That's fine, I get it, they didn't supply it." So he understood the situation. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I was puzzled for, like, hours. I'm like, what happened? Was that like a Jedi mind trick? It's like, "These are not the droids you are looking for." And somehow I was just he was just parroting back what I was telling him? I don't know. Yeah, it was a good outcome because we had been screwed around for like 3 days with this thing. We tried it at one supermarket, got the same result, tried it at a different supermarket, and then this happened. So, hey, it sort of made up for what happened twice. Hey, Penguin, how are you? Um, hey, SP Mama, good to see you. Someone tell Danny I said hi. I don't know if he'll want me to tell you that. I don't think Danny wants me to tell him anything. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Hey, Marjorie, good to have you guys. Kathy Lynch, Wendy R, great to have you guys. We've got a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk about the case that is on the thumbnail and the title. Happened a couple of months ago, but there's been no movement in the case. I really want to just bring it up again and talk about what the situation is because it's very important. This woman has been missing for 9 months. So we have to talk about it. It was my lucky day. Yeah, it was very strange. Hey, Hug, how are you? Brown Landis, Joe Neal, Laurie's here, Wendy R. Gayla is also here. I don't know who I missed, and I'm sorry. Maybe I missed my friend Laurie. Who did I miss? Maria's up here. Hey, Maria. Lynn D is here. Good to have you. Good to have you. Aaron says, I'm totally staying at home today. I think that's a good idea. Don't be heading out there. I think it's I think it's pretty brutal out there right now. Some of the images I'm seeing coming in from Melbourne, at least, looks like there is a well. I'll put it this way: a couple of weeks ago, there was a protest in Sydney, attracted something like 100,000 people, or many people, and that marched through Sydney for Gaza or something. Massive protest, maybe one of the biggest in Australian history. This one this week doesn't look quite as uh successful. This one is like they're saying around 2,000 people have showed up. So that's not exactly 10,000 or 100,000. Here's a photo from above. It's a lot of people, but it's not 50,000, it's not 20,000. It's a couple of thousand. If anyone is in the city in Melbourne, tell me how many people it looks like are out there. Joe Neal said, "What's the Oz slang for chav? A bogan? No. Yeah, sorta. A lad. Probably a lad. I think chav is very similar to lad. So a lad is a specific subculture, very similar to chav. Yeah, an esche kind of thing. Yeah, lad. So probably an esche is probably if you grew up in Sydney in the inner west in the 90s or early 2000s, you would be well acquainted with esche culture because that's where I grew up. So if you were in the late 90s, early 2000s and you wore a lot of Nautica and you wore a lot of Nike Air Max shoes or whatever, that was a big sort of subculture for. I think it's still around. I think there's, you know, it's still ongoing. It's still pretty popular. So yeah, chav, esche, lad, that type of thing is crossover. I'd say they like to wear the some designer things. Like I think in the UK it's a little bit different. They like sort of other brands, but here it's don't know why they like Nautica. It's a sailing brand. I'm not sure, but all right. Let me see. Yeah. All right. No more strange topics. You got your update. You got your strange update about the chicken. I want to talk about Heaven. So her name is Heaven Desiree McGee, and they believe she has been trafficked. It's a pretty bold claim, but when the FBI comes out and does a press conference, you listen to them because I don't think they got it wrong. I don't think they're like, we think she's been trafficked. And they're like, wait, hold on. She was just actually at a Starbucks down the road. No, I don't think that's the case. I believe them. I believe that, this is most likely some sort of human trafficking type thing. They're offering a reward of up to $10,000 for her safe return. But this happened in January 20 of 2025. This news story broke a couple of months ago, I think in June or July. It's been a number of weeks now, and there's been no update. No one has called through. There's been no tips. There's been no sort of like, hey, we found her, or we sort of know where she might be. I can tell you that after I did the first story on heaven, I had a strange interaction with someone online after I did the show and did the update and showed the FBI press conference and things like that. Someone was talking to me on Twitter that fits the profile of heaven. And I only talking about it today because it's been so long and I've already reported it. So I reported that interaction to the FBI that's covering this case. The person that interacted with me could have been, I don't know if it's her or someone being stupid or playing a game, but they looked very similar to Heaven. And it was almost like they were making fun of my coverage. Like, haha, I'm not missing. I'm over here. Now, it could have been a troll, but I don't want to play games with a missing person investigation. So I reported it to the FBI. I didn't hear anything else. They did contact me once just to get some more details and some sort of particulars about it, and I gave them everything I had. If that person was Heaven, that is very strange. I don't know if they are accessing online, why they wouldn't contact authorities if they're free and clear and they're not being held somewhere. Why not just tell the FBI you don't want to go home? But again, I have this other part of my brain that's very very critical thinking. I always think there's a negative somewhere. So I always wonder if it's like, hey, this is just a troll, someone picking up on the story and could be just making trouble. But anyway, it happened very quickly after I did my live show about a month and a half ago, and I did report it. So just know that I'm not keeping information about heaven secret. I'm living in the twilight zone. Apparently, I am. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. That's why I just reported it to them and told them, hey, this is what's happening. I'm not sure what's going on, and I can't verify it. Maybe you can, but the person looked very much like Heaven. They had different photos that weren't on this one, and it wasn't through. It was through a platform that I don't use very often. So very strange. So there you go. So I want to talk about it again. I want to see if this person reaches out again, because if they do, then I know something a bit strange is going on. It's not just a troll or something like that. Or I mean, it could be, but I'll just report it again to the FBI. But it's the first time I've ever covered a live investigation like this, and something odd has happened with a person of interest. So, who is Heaven? Heaven is 5 foot. She's only 5 foot tall. Very, a bit of a short lady. She's 140 pounds, female. She's a Black American. She has black hair. She was born in California, and her date of birth is March 4, 2004. So she's quite young, just into her 20s, right? Not a very, very, she's not like in her 30s or something like that. She's quite young. But they're saying that her last contact was around January 17, and they have a witness sighting of her a few days after that. But since January 20, nothing. Nothing at all. No updates. She hasn't called her parents, like her family, nothing at all. And that is very concerning, even for someone who maybe doesn't come home every day, doesn't call home or visit every single day, for them to completely drop out of contact, online contact, visiting, phone calls. doesn't make any sense, right? It's concerning, and that's why the FBI believes she may have been involved in a human trafficking situation. So I want to play you just a small bit from KTVU San Francisco on what they have to say about her disappearance. So give me a second, let me load it up. Hopefully it's the right bit. By the way, we're testing a new subtitle system. So anytime we play a video, you guys will get stronger subtitles that are easier to read on any video. I'm trying to see if this works for people because we have some people who are hearing impaired, and I'm trying to see if that helps them. All right. If this will now play.
Good morning. My name is Acting Deputy Chief Nicholas Calange, Nicholas Calonge. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to give an update on the case of missing person Heaven McGee. The Oakland Police Department is working closely with the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the hopes of bringing McGee safely home. It has been just over 5 months since she was last seen. Heaven McGee is a 21-year-old Black woman, approximately 5 feet tall and weighing around 140 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. When last seen, she was wearing a white jacket and brown pants. Her mother, Tamisha, who is here with us today, last saw her on January 17th in Oakland. McGee was seen again on January 20th in the city of Stockton and has not been seen or heard from since. On January 26th, Tamisha reported her daughter missing to the Oakland Police Department. Since then, the OPD, the FBI, and other law enforcement partners have followed leads and searched here in Oakland, in Solano County, and in San Joaquin County in an effort to find her. I want to thank the men and women of the Oakland Police Department, especially our detectives in the Missing Persons Unit, who have worked tirelessly on this case as well as our many other missing persons cases. McGee is a daughter and a friend, and her family misses her dearly. I want her family, our community, and anyone that can hear my voice to know that we have not given up or forgotten about her. We will continue to pursue credible leads and to utilize our investigative resources to help bring her home. The OPD cannot do this alone. We are asking that anyone who knows of McGee's whereabouts or has seen her to please forward that information through our partners with the FBI. No detail is too small. Any information can help. With that,
So I'll explain the subtitles for people who didn't see the message in chat. The second line is so you can actually switch it to a second language. I can actually put up one of them as Spanish and one of them as English, and you'll get a direct translation. These subtitles are actually more precise and correct than the YouTube ones. The YouTube ones often have big mistakes in it, words that are not right, names that are not correct. But these ones tend to be more correct. They tend to be a better translation or a better direct copy of what the person is saying. And I even tested it out with my own voice on my videos, and you get a much better translation from the Australian accent than you do with the YouTube ones. The YouTube ones, it gets all jumbled and you get weird pronunciations, and this one's really good. So it's a good program. I've been using it to try and, because we have people who can't hear very well, but they want to watch and listen. So yeah, so that's why I've sought out a new subtitle program. I'm trying to see how we can get it to work with my voice when I'm talking, but that's a challenge for another day. There is an option. Oh, there is another option for people who are hearing impaired or English is a second language. There is a way, if you are watching in a Chrome browser, if you go into your settings, you can turn on live captions on any video. So any video you play, a little box will pop up and it'll do live captions of anything you are watching. And you can select the language you want. So if you are on a computer on a non-Apple device and you use a Chrome browser, search how to turn on live captions in Chrome. So that'll help people as well. All right, a little bit more. We want to hear from the FBI bit, and then we will go on to some information. Hold on.
As Deputy Chief Kalanch mentioned, we are asking for the public's help in locating Heaven, who has been missing for over 5 months and who we believe is a victim of human trafficking. I want to begin by recognizing and thanking Heaven's mother, Tamisha, and her family who are with us today. Your strength, your perseverance, and your love for your daughter are deeply moving. We stand with you, and we are doing everything in our power to bring Heaven home. Since the earliest days of this investigation, the FBI and the Oakland Police Department have been working closely, combining federal and local resources to find Heaven and bring those responsible to justice. Our teams have conducted multiple searches in the Stockton area, guided by cell phone data and other investigative leads. While these searches have not yet yielded the results we hope for, we continue to pursue every possible tip and lead and take every logical investigative step. Based on the evidence gathered in this case, we believe Heaven was being trafficked and is the reason why she was in the Stockton area. Human trafficking is a brutal crime and preys on the most vulnerable and isolates victims from those who care about them the most. The FBI investigates these crimes as one of our top violent crime priorities and leads a task force, which includes the Oakland Police Department, to combat this scourge on society. The FBI is offering up to a $10,000 reward for information leading directly to Heaven's location. We are asking the public, especially anyone who lives or frequents in the Stockton area, or anyone who may have seen or heard something out of the ordinary in January, to come forward. Even the smallest detail may help us move this investigation forward. Heaven is more than a missing person case file. She is a daughter, a loved one, and a young woman who deserves to be found and brought home to her family. If you know anything about her whereabouts, please contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI.
So I'll leave it there. Yeah. If you know anything, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. It's on the screen there in the subtitles for you. I agree with Joe that I don't think it needs to be speculated about it. When someone is believed to be trafficked and then they just go dark like this, it's very strange. The one thing I'll say is, in true crime, in my years doing true crime, anytime someone goes missing, one of the first things that always comes up is like, oh my God, they've been trafficked. The way trafficking works is there's two types of trafficking. There's the one that everyone believes from the movies that happens, like they think any little white girl that's on a street is going to be trafficked. That's not normally how it works. There's specific profiles, there's specific circumstances that tend to be something that they look for. Like traffickers tend to look for people like, say, I'll give you an example. Someone who has strong communal ties, who has a large family presence, and they live within the family home maybe, that would be a very bad target. Not saying it doesn't happen. It would be a smaller percentage of cases because they will be noticed quicker. They'll be noticed within half an hour if they've gone missing. It doesn't happen super often. It does happen, but it's not the large percentage of cases. It's normally people that sort of in this particular case where there will be a period of time before people would notice what was going on. due to either living away from the family, sort of circle, either they live in a disadvantaged situation, a poor socioeconomic background. It could be a variety of things. I'm not saying that heaven's part of that. I'm just saying that's the difference between what you see in the movies and what is actually happening in real life. They want someone who is not going to bring the heat down on them straight away, and they have specific things they look for. They're not going to steal or traffic a girl, most likely, who, uh, you know, from any background, but anyone who's got any of these key indicators I said earlier. It's just strange. Like every time someone goes missing, you'll read on Reddit or Twitter or something, they'll be like, "Oh my God, it's trafficking. They've been trafficked." Most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, the issue is closer to home. I think, but this one could be a real one. So what I'm trying to say is people get so up in arms about trafficking, but then when they get given a real one like this one, they're all like, "Yeah, that's not that interesting. I don't really care. I don't really want to, help with this or cover it or whatever." They're handing you a real trafficking case on a platter, and like no one's interested. Yeah, you all spend so much time on freaking Reddit and stuff going, "This girl got trafficked and this is definitely a trafficking case. There's a ring in my area and they're taking girls." The FBI is giving you a real one here and they're asking for your help. So if there's anyone out there in the Stockton area, anywhere in the Bay Area, or anywhere near Oakland, and you've seen Heaven, or you see someone that might have looked like her around January 20, or even past that, anytime between January 17 to 20ish to today. If you have seen her, please call it in, because you could be the difference in trying to get her home or trying to find out what happened to her. People don't just disappear off the face of the earth. We know this. So somewhere out there, most likely close to where she went missing, uh, she is she's around there somewhere. I don't know whether she's alive or not. She could be. They're saying could be a trafficking case, so it could be that she is alive. But if you see her, here's a photo of Heaven. Call it in. I think it's solvable, but I think it's solvable with public help. They need someone to call in and say, "I saw her on this street last week. I was walking down near the mall, near the bottle shop, near the 7-Eleven, and I saw her with a dude, or I saw her in a car." So need someone, and there's a lot of people in Stockton. There's a lot of people in Cali. Someone must have seen her. So stop being a bitch and call in the number. The FBI don't give a stuff about you. They don't care about your 40 marijuana plants that are in your back room. They don't really care. They want to know where this girl is. So they're not going to come to your home and be like, "Raid your home because you gave a tip about a missing woman." So stop being a bitch and call in, because it's bigger than you. It's a bigger story, a bigger situation than whatever you got going on. We need people to actually help. So I hope people will. And I fully believe it's solvable. I think there's people that know where she is, like right now. I think there's people that know exactly what happened to her in January and where she is right now. I don't think this is like some story where there's only one person involved. I think there's many people who know where she is, at least a few. And we need someone to, you know, do the right thing, help her mum out, because I'm about to show you what her mum has to say. And I think, you know, how can you let a mum feel this way? What would it be like if it was your mother? If this was your mum at the press conference? All right, here we go.
Bear with me, please. I'm sorry. My name is Tamisha. I'm the mother of Heaven McGee. Here's a picture of my daughter, my only child. She disappeared out my life in January of this year, never to be seen or heard from me or her family since January. I know it's someone that, with a heart, that can help me find my daughter. Heaven was a genuine person who would never leave her family. Heaven loved shopping. She loved, of course, making TikTok videos. She loved cooking. She loved spending time with her friends. This is not becoming of her. To those who spend time with Heaven, she relied on you, and you relied on her to be that someone to help me and those who love Heaven find her. The city of Oakland is giving $10,000 to anyone who can help us find my daughter. I will never stop searching for my baby until I know exactly where my daughter is. Me and the rest of the family will be highly appreciative of the person who leads me to my daughter's whereabouts. I thank you for listening. I thank you for caring. Also, I would like to thank you in advance for your time, your support, and your effort relevant to networking and locating my daughter. Once again, thank you to Oakland and the surrounding cities at large for all your help in regards to helping me find my baby Heaven.
There you go. Like, she could barely get through that paragraph of words talking about her daughter. And she says her daughter would never not come home to celebrate family events. So to be missing this long, we are now at the end of August and it's about to be September. Now, yeah, I know the area. I'm a 49ers fan. I know the area quite well. I know where Oakland is. Of course, that's where our arch nemesis, the Raiders, used to be. So I do know that some of these areas are a little rough, but it doesn't, just because of where someone grows up or just because of where someone goes missing or where they might have been last seen, doesn't deny them to be found, to be given justice. It doesn't matter if you come from a rich neighborhood in, Palo Alto or whatever, or you come from Oakland or you come from some other place, even Compton maybe. It doesn't matter. She has to come home to her family one way or another, hopefully alive. That would be nice. Um, you never know. I used to have like a really negative mindset before I did true crime. I was like, oh, they're dead. It's like, they're already dead. And then after doing true crime for a number of years and seeing some of the crazy situations that happen out there, people found after 8 years in captivity, or people turning up and they've set up a new life somewhere and have two children after 35 years. It told me to open my mind a little bit and understand that sometimes things don't go by the rule book and sometimes weird things happen. Just like the chicken story I told you earlier, sometimes strange things happen that you can't explain. So she may be out there and she may be still just fine, but just being restricted in her movements. Now, after I did this story last time, someone told me, they contacted me that she may have been targeted because of stuff she was doing on TikTok. I can't verify any of that, but someone contacted me about it saying that that was a possibility, that um, that she was doing stuff on TikTok and maybe had an audience of undesirable people. I can't confirm that. I couldn't find a lot of background on it. I found a little bit, but nothing I would be like, oh my god, she was, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. So hold on. Hey Joe. Hmm. All right. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. I will send me the link when you've got it all set up. Send me the link and I'll post it on my channel. Yeah, I understand. I understand what you said in that email. I can tell you that unrelated, I have been working on an interview with someone for a year, and I keep getting like every time I contact them, I get like an inch closer. Every time I contact them, they let me in a little bit more. And this person is not a victim or involved in crime. They actually work as a reporter, and I've been like chipping away at that stone for like a year trying to get them on the channel because they are one of my favorite reporters and I think they do a great job, and it's a case that I really really like, and this person is someone who's done a lot of work on that case. So you actually reminded me that I need to reach out to them again, because they almost said yes about a month and a half ago. They were like, "Yeah, that sounds like a decent idea," and then I didn't hear anything more. So I have to I have to reach out to them again, because if I can get them on this channel, I think everyone will go bananas. I think everyone would like the interview. So I will tell you what Joe told me when he has these links set up, and I will post it on my Twitter and social media for people who want to watch. SP Mama said not engaged in chat in Yen chat. Hope it's okay. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I'm glad you made it back from the fires. Not the fires, the flooding. I'm glad you made it back from the flooding. Who do we have here? Sorry, we got sidetracked for a minute. Hey Emily, good to see you, my friend. Glad to have you here. So yeah, back to heaven. I think this is a big thing here. Tamisha, that's the mom that you saw in the video. She said her daughter loves cooking and making TikTok videos. Now that's where the TikTok lead came from. But the person who contacted me said that it wasn't just like making TikTok videos, that there was something else there, but that they wouldn't go into it. They would just tell me that they kept telling me, look at TikTok, look at TikTok. And I was like, well, I'm very bad at TikTok. I'm a late millennial. Yeah, I'm like a late millennial right at the end of it. And TikTok came out way after when I was young. So I'm not very super versed in it. But I had a look around and I couldn't see anything. Like I found some things with her in it, but nothing that I was like, oh, this is what led her to be trafficked or something. Like it didn't spike anything for me, but they might be right that it had something to do with that. I just don't know. But I want to show you another angle of her. Hold on. Where is it? Heaven Desiree. So there's a news station that did an interview about it, and now it's disappeared. Good work, Ping. Good work on having all your links set up and being organized. Good work, Ping. Okay. Apparently I can't find it. It's all right. If we find it in a second, I will bring it up. But yeah, I think 2 months after such a big public call for help like this FBI press conference and Oakland PD combined press conference to not have any movement in the case. If you were a cop or you're an FBI agent and you didn't get some sort of breadcrumb that you could follow to try and find heaven from this press conference, that would be a massive failure. I have heard of cops where they do these type of press conferences and get nothing, and that's that's not a good thing. So I hope secretly they do know something. Yeah, I feel you there. I set mine up like a couple of hours beforehand. But when you have it, let me know and I'll post it. So yeah, there you go. Heaven, Desiree, McGee. Here's some photos of her because she looks different, sort of slightly different in each photo. There's a front-on image of her. There's like a sort of above, like a tilted image from the top of the head. Yeah, let's go this way. On the side, like a side, almost a side profile, but not quite. So you guys can get like a real rounded view and sort of what she looks like when she's sort of dolled up. So she's looking very, you know, very pretty there. She's got like her hair done and a little bit of makeup or whatever. She looks, possibly different than what like her everyday life. So it gives you the two sort of like comparisons between what she looks like when she's just chilling and hanging out, and when she looks a little, you know, what girls do, they get dolled up going out somewhere or something. So yeah, that's what I thought too. She looks slightly different in each photo, but this should give you a rounded view of sort of her spectrum of what she can look like depending on how her hair is and how her makeup and what she's wearing and um, lighting and stuff like that. So it is a good selection of photos for her. Sometimes we don't even get that. So there you go. Yeah, she does. Andrew says, I'm in Orange County. Well, keep an eye out. It's been 8 months since you went missing. In 8 months, you could go anywhere. I mean, I don't expect her to be outside of CA, but she could be. So if you're anywhere from the Bay all the way down to LA, even further down near San Diego, um, she could be anywhere between between San Diego and the Bay Area. So it's a big distance, but you know, there's a lot of people out there too that could look around, keep an eye out. So Mimi said, I'm late. How long has she been missing and circumstances? Well, they believe she might have been trafficked. She's been missing since January 20 of this year. So there you go. About 8 months or so. Let me see. So the state of California DOJ put out a little alert for her that had some even other photos. So a lot of images of her. Here's some other ones. There you go. So there's one with her hair in braids. So you can see when she doesn't have straight hair, she's got the braided type hair. And here's another photo that looks similar to the other ones we've seen, but at least this gives you a different look at her. So there you go. The right eye looks off, an injury. Let me have a look. I don't know. We didn't hear of any injuries or any health issues, but maybe. I don't. I'm not sure. I don't have anything about any illness or an injury, but you might be right. Rachel said, I just sent a screenshot to some family in Oakland in the LA area. Thank you. I appreciate it. Chipmunk said, to see me, I can't always tell the difference. Different pictures are the same person. Yeah. I don't know. I all they told us that she was last seen in Stockton, and they believed that it was in the process of being trafficked at the time in Stockton. But I don't have any more information of what she was exactly doing at the time. That I don't know why they're not releasing that. If they were going to, it would be in that press conference. Let me go back. They did ask some questions, so let's see if it gets answered here.
The Oakland Police Department, in collaboration with the San Joaquin County law enforcement agencies, as well as the FBI, have conducted a number of searches in San Joaquin County and in Solano County.
Any scene has been located with respect to the disappearance in Oakland, Lathrop, Stockton, or anywhere else have been able to winnow the possible area of interest was completely unknown.
So the reporter was asking, I know it's very hard to hear, and I think I got it listening on the headphones. The reporter's asking, did they find any scene that they could search or area that they could search? And the reply is answering that question.
The Oakland Police Department, in collaboration with the San Joaquin County law enforcement agencies, as well as the FBI, have conducted a number of searches in San Joaquin County and in Solano County. Both locations that we believe Heaven may have specifically been at during the time frame during which we believe she went missing, and those that she may have frequented at other times in her life. But as of this time, I will not be sharing specific locations about those investigative leads.
Helena Jones with NBC Bay Area. Can you give us any more details about that latest appearance in Stockton, where that was, what the circumstances were?
Detective Sites.
So this question might answer what people are asking in the chat. The reporter asked, can you give us any more information about her last sighting or appearance in Stockton? So you guys might get an answer here.
Sure. I can't go into specific detail about it, but she was in the Stockton area. It was a commercial corridor. I can give you that level of information. So part of the reason why we're here with the ask today is we know that someone in that area saw something. Whatever the detail is, however small it is, it could aid us in our investigation because we've been doing extensive work with our federal partners for the past 5 to 6 months. But we don't know everything. So we're asking the community, whatever piece you have.
That's a very strange way of wording that, isn't it? Like, sometimes we have to look at wordings of what people say. He says, a commercial corridor of Stockton, but that's the only level of information he's willing to give. What is a commercial corridor? What does that mean? A shopping center? Like a mall? Or do they mean like a 7-Eleven, like a strip mall type thing on the side of the road where there's like 4 shops in a row, like a corner? Like, it's an odd way of saying that. Why not say a mall, or why not say a strip mall, a car park, a big box location? It's an odd way of saying. Let's see, Stockton is pretty big. It is a pretty big area. Yeah, don't argue, they'll ban you, and then you'll be banned from 2 channels. And I ain't gonna unban you. If they want to ban you, that's their choice. I let them do whatever they want to do. Yeah, that's an odd way of phrasing that. We'll go to the next question. Then I want to search what that might be. Hold on.
Take your sides. What do you think? Spell your first and last name.
Oh, sorry. Officer Bradley Sides, Bradley, and Sides, Sides.
And then a quick follow-up for you. Do you guys think that it was people that maybe she knew that were involved in this, or separate entities, strangers?
We don't have any conclusive evidence to put us in any camp like that at this time. So right now we have to look at any and every opportunity and any and every lead that we have. So we don't want to miss out on a verifiable lead because we're focused on the wrong thing.
I'm obviously that she was interested in TikTok videos. Did she produce a lot? Did she have a large fan base? Could possibly that been something?
that information I can't share with you at this time.
Yeah, see, the person that contacted me said the same thing. Something about TikTok, and they kept referring to it over and over again. When I did a search, maybe it's because I'm a what the kids would call a boomer, even though I'm not. I'm millennial. Um, I couldn't find anything that I would think was super suspicious, but I mean, there was a couple of things like just videos of her talking or um, saying she was here or there and posting a video, like nothing I thought was that. I mean, we did a case last year of a woman who posted naked lady videos on TikTok and stuff. And I mean, if I could find that, I would tell you that I found it, but I didn't really find anything that was that sort of outrageous or risque. So it could be out there though. Wonder if she had a phone with her. I would say if she had a phone and they were able to track it, they would have said, well, that maybe that's how they know she was. No, they said it was a sighting. Maybe that's how they know she was in Stockton. Maybe that's the last place her phone pinged. It could be. Maybe they tracked her phone to that location, then they can't track it any further. That's why they're not quite sure what happened in Stockton. And they're just saying, like, that's why they need someone on the ground to provide them details about what was going on when she was in this commercial corridor. Maybe that's why, because that might make sense. Um, the one that I can find in Stockton that is one of the big ones is Stockton Boulevard is is a big sort of commercial corridor, but I don't know if it's the same one. But they were doing a lot of work in this place in 2024, revitalizing and like gentrification of the area. So Stockton Boulevard. I mean, it's a big area if that's anywhere near where they think. It's just like a giant road. Yeah, I'll show you. Like it's just a major thoroughfare, and you can see it does have a lot of commercial buildings and shopping centers and restaurants and hotels, casinos, big box stores. So maybe this is where they mean. It has a supermarket. So this is probably what they mean as a commercial corridor, but I don't know if it's this particular one. But that's in my Googling. This is the one that came up over and over again for Stockton. So I don't think there's any news on Emmanuel as of yet. Let's see. Oh yeah. That's all right. Just he might get the picture. Some days he's okay, and some days he's not. But if he keeps going, it'll be a permanent. Chipmunk said, I would think that saying, hey, she was last seen in this area, street names, businesses, lots of ring cams, they should say they must have a reason. That's why I think maybe it is a phone ping because they don't fully know. Phone locations, depending on what technology you use to track the phone, are not super accurate. So if you're using GPS, pretty accurate. If you're using Google services data, somewhat accurate. If you're using some of the other things like triangulation, can be sort of accurate down to X many meters or feet. So it depends. So I would like to know more about what they what they tried to track her with. Is this sighting a physical sighting or is it a cell phone ping? Uh, Many questions. All right, Joe. All right, buddy. Have fun with that. I will miss your one subscriber. I will. I truly will. Rachel said, I do find it strange we don't have details, but I bet there's a reason why. Maybe they don't want to spook someone, but if that was true, you would think they would have more details to give the public or more places to search for her. or another person to look out for. So, yeah. All right, let's a couple more questions, then we'll tie this up.
I'm sorry, Hassan Davis, 7 News. You guys, there's a lot of states involved. Where is she from? She's from, and where does she live?
Although she was last seen in San Joaquin County, we believe her address of record and where her mother lives is in the city of Oakland, thus our involvement in this investigation.
David with the San Francisco Chronicle. Could you elaborate a little bit more about how she became a victim of human trafficking? Was it when she was outside of Oakland? Was it in Oakland? When and how did she become a victim? Do we know?
I'll defer to.
The investigation into her victimization as a human trafficking victim is ongoing, so we're not going to release other information about that at this time.
There wasn't a lot that they could release, and again, it's an active investigation. A lot of the times they won't while they've got a running thing going on. But I would say it's now almost 2 months since they did this press conference. If you don't have a solid lead or you can't find her right now, then the public deserves more information to help you. You're not giving us very much to help you. You're giving us a picture of a girl and a location where she was 8 months ago. 8 months ago. Can you not give us anything else? A person she might have been seen with that we can also try and find, a car, some associates that she hangs around with, a lead to somewhere else that might help people narrow down where she might be today, 8 months later. And that is frustrating because I get why they don't want to release it, because they don't want to ruin their investigation. But at the same time, when you ask for public help, you got to give us something. Giving us a last known location 8 months ago when you came out in July with this information. You didn't come out in February or January with this information. You came out in July with it. So it was already old information. And you're asking people to be like, hey, do you remember something for 5 months ago? It's a tall ask. It's a really tall ask from the public. Not criticizing, just saying it's a tall ask to be like, "Hey, do you remember something from 5 months ago?" It's not, you know, something tiny, something else to maybe narrow down who she might have been with might have been better. Here we go. There's her photo for people who want to see it. Hey, Pink Volo, how are you? Yeah, I know. But I get it too. It's a live investigation. If it is a trafficking case, then that's, even more dangerous. You could have a captive victim and you got to put their life above everything. So I get that. And if they leak anything that might identify her captors, her life could then be in danger. So it's a balancing act, but I get it. A boyfriend. I didn't see anything about a boyfriend. Hold on, let me check. You would think that that would be the first call would be to any partners. Uh, I'm just trying to see what else I can dig up. I don't see anything about a partner. Ah, hold on. I did find a name. Let me double check something. I don't want to give out names unless I can tie it to it. Mm. I can't verify the information, so I don't want to put it in the public domain. There is a name floating about of a partner or someone she was seeing, but I can't verify it. So I don't want to be one of these people that gives you misinformation. So Aaron said, if she was active in TikTok, what about her followers or who she followed? The police must have some info from there. I have a feeling they waited so long because they may have been waiting for subpoenas to come through. So when you subpoena companies like TikTok, like Facebook, like Google, they take a crapload of time. They're not like you don't put in your subpoena or your court order and you get it on Thursday. It's like it happens 3 months from now. So maybe they were waiting and thought they were going to get better information from some of her data services like Google services, Gmail, TikTok, any other social media, and maybe it didn't pan out. Maybe when they got that data requested through a subpoena, it it just or a warrant or something, it didn't work, and they did. That's why they did the public press conferences because it didn't have the information they thought it did. But the Stockton sighting, I would like to know more about whether that was a physical sighting or was it a digital sighting or something like that. And they didn't tell us. They said they wouldn't give any more information. So that makes me wonder if they got that from a different source of information or something. Yeah, let me just check how the wording they used. Well, they said they used the word seen. So if you use the word seen to me, seen means it's probably a physical sighting, but you never know. Yeah, so the transcript I have here from that says seen. But sometimes words get used and they don't always have the same meaning as what you think. Um, Kathy said, yeah, he's having an off night. That's okay. Let's see. Hey, Four Sons Mom, good to see you. All right, let me go over the photos one last time, then we're going to finish this story for tonight. I just wanted to do an update because it's important to me that we highlight people of color in true crime. I feel like as much work that I've tried to do on the subject, as much work as other people have tried to do in true crime, I don't feel like we're getting anywhere. And that's very sad to me because I hate that we have this stereotype in true crime where it's like, pretty white girl syndrome or whatever they call it. I hate that there's even a word for that because it shouldn't be like that. A girl like this, who is just as beautiful as some of the other missing white girls, shouldn't have less attention just because she is a person of color. We should highlight all people who are missing. They all deserve to go home or to be found or to be returned to their families. So. Yeah, I was I was gonna talk about it once we'd finished. That's okay. Yes, there you go. Joe's got a big interview tomorrow at 4 Eastern. Head to Joe's channel. Hold on, let me get Joe's channel. Yeah. I saved it in my favorite people list this time. So Joe's got a big story about a teenager that was missing and then found deceased. It'll be he said it's he said he found the story not long ago and that he's been trying to work on this interview for a number of months. So London Valdez is a person of color. London Valdez. Is this the one, Beaver County, Oklahoma? Is this the one you're going to do tomorrow? I know this one. The OBSI. I think I know this case. I think we did this case when it happened. August 30, 2025. When did it originally happen? June 7, she was reported missing. I feel like, did we do this at the time? I can't remember. We've done a lot. But here, I'll play the little prelude for it. And then if you want to see, hold on, guys. If you want to see more about it, head to Joe's channel tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. And he's going to have an interview with a family member. So that'll be good. I just want to see. Wow, this story has like no freaking media coverage. Oh no, I was thinking of London Thomas. So there was another girl who went missing earlier this year called London Thomas. I was getting confused. This is London Valdez. All right, let me get you a video for you.
In Oklahoma has been identified as that of a missing teen. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says authorities found 16-year-old London Valdez's body on June 12th. She was reported missing by her family in early June. The OSBI says the medical examiner will identify her cause of death. No other details have been released.
So I want to know, did they publicly release the cause of death? That only happened 1 day ago. So I'm guessing no, they did not. Is the person you're interviewing tomorrow, is it Annette? No, that's someone else. That's okay. I thought this was a family member for her. This is someone else. That's okay. I want to show you a photo. So this is the girl that Joe's going to do an interview on tomorrow. There we go. So there you go. And you saw the little update. It's only 1 day ago. 1 day ago, they identified the body of her. That is pretty, you know, the fact she went missing on June 5 and they only just identified it. So Brittany Valdez is her mom. So that's probably who he's doing the interview with tomorrow. Body found in Beaver County, Oklahoma. Yeah, where was she found? Hooker, Oklahoma. Where is that? Nice photos of her. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Share this. There's a photo of her, of London Valdez. They're saying here, body located in Beaver County, Oklahoma, was identified as her. The OSBI Public Information Manager, Hunter McGee, who you would know, Hunter, he did that other case of the mom and her friend who went and were trying to get the children, and they were ambushed on the road. Well, Hunter McGee was the one that did a lot of the updates for that particular case from the OSBI. So if you remember when they went missing last year, he was the one there. So he's back again, Hunter McGee, doing this particular case, but they're saying they don't have the causal manner of death because it was only 24 hours ago that they identified the body, but they expect to have it shortly. So hopefully in the next couple of days. They said she was reported missing by her family at 3:15 p.m. June 7th, according to a family member who said they called Texas County, Oklahoma dispatch. The family called again the same day at 10:30 p.m., still looking for her. After the second call was made, according to the family, Hooker, Oklahoma, Chief of Police Scott Hedrick responded to talk to them. Well, I'm glad the Chief of Police got back to them. City's office was contacted. Terrible. In a press release in June from Beaver County, Oklahoma, the sheriff Scott Michael said he and his office was contacted June 12th by officials from Hooker County, Oklahoma. they said it was to assist in recovering a deceased individual. The deceased, now identified as London, was reportedly located in an area of southwest of Forgan, Oklahoma, in Beaver County, 5 days after she was reported missing. A very sad story. The OSBI was requested to investigate a suspicious death in Beaver County last week. That individual has now been identified, has been transported to the office of the chief medical examiner for identification and to determine a cause and manner of death. So there you go. This is who you'll hear more about in an exclusive interview on Joe's channel tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. You got the preliminary. Is it suspicious or not? I don't know if he wants to tell me or not. I don't know. You can tell me in private if you don't want to release it until tomorrow. I'll keep your secret. I've become very good at keeping information off the record after doing the trial of Aaron Patterson. I've had to do that for months. I just wish they behaved. Yeah. Yeah, set your alarm for Joe's thing tomorrow. That'd be a good idea. All right. Oh, by the way, there's a change at YouTube, and I have to show you. This is the first time this has ever happened, even though I've received these in the past. I got an email for a super thanks. That has never ever happened, and I've had quite a number of them over the years. I hope they keep doing this, because if for some reason you send in a super thanks and I don't happen to check that particular comment, because we move on to another day's video or something, I don't get alerted to it at all. They don't send us a notification. We have to go into like the monetary thing and go into a different tab, and then it may show it, but they don't tell us like they do when you guys do other types of donations. But yesterday, someone did a super chat, and I'll say thank you to them in a minute. They actually sent out an email, and I was so happy because this has been a big problem with YouTube for a while, where stupid thing. Hold on. Where they don't show us. Here. They say, you got super thanks, return the love. And it says go like leave a comment or say thank you to the person. First time in 2 years of doing YouTube that I've ever received an email about a super thanks. Ever. I don't know why it suddenly started doing it now, but that is great. I'm glad they are, because when people do it in the chat or whatever, we get a notification for it. When you do it in the comments, we don't get anything. It's bizarre. Let me see. By the way, Kathy, thank you for the donation, and I want to thank my friend Nick. Nick, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. I hope you are doing well, and I want to thank the person who did the super chat. So hold on. Hopefully this doesn't play my show from yesterday. Close. It was Sean. Sean, was it? Yeah, it was Sean. Thanks, Sean. By the way, Jonna did one a few weeks ago, and I didn't get alerted for that, but I did see it in the comments. So thank you to Jonna for that one too. I appreciate it. Chipmunk said, does it go into a hidden folder? No. No. I've just never had one before. This is the first one they've ever sent out in 2 years of doing YouTube and a year and a half of being monetized. I've never ever received an email that says anything about a super thanks. So hopefully this is a new thing that they're doing, because it will help the creator know if there's something there, and we can then say thank you to the person like Sean or Jonna from the other week, which was super generous. She did a $50 super thanks, so I appreciate that. It's very kind. I don't know where Sean is at the moment. He was here earlier. Yeah. If I go all the way back to the front of the chat, he was here. Was he here? I know he was here yesterday. Am I dreaming? I swear I saw him earlier. Maybe, maybe I'm making stuff up. Maybe it was last night he was here. I know he was here yesterday. So, oh yeah, didn't we put it up for you? Here. No, that's not it. By the way, Squeaky Chair is still here. We were gonna buy a cover for the chair so we got the new chair. It's sitting over here in a box. I have not been able to find a solution to my cats destroying it. And I'm super worried about putting it together and my cats clawing it to shreds because they love it. Look what they did to this one here. They tore this one to shreds. This one is not that bad, but the handles and the seat have no black on it anymore. It's all just fabric. So if you have any idea of how to not have a new chair destroyed by your cats, let me know because this chair is super uncomfortable. It has started to like squeak all the time and it's very unstable. See if it's not like super stable anymore. I want to build my new one and sit in my new chair. But I'm so petrified that my cats are just going to tear it to shreds. I would like to know if anyone has a good solution for it. Blankets, that is a possibility because we have them on the couch and they don't claw the couch where the blankets are. Possibility. Woman of Steel said, doesn't it take a while to get paid from them and don't they take a big chunk? Yes, they do. So YouTube takes 30% off the top. So anything you give us in a super chat or a super thanks or a super chat, 30% off the top. Instantly from YouTube. They take 30% because they run the platform. It is then we get a tax. We have to take tax from it too, which is 30%. And then we have to pay 12% tax to the US government. So the US government takes 12% of tax as well before we even get it in our account at the end of the month. So we lose 30% from YouTube, they take it, 30% on tax, and then 12% from there's some MPAA motion picture something or other thing that you have to pay to the US government, which is 12%, and it's automatic. It comes straight out of it in YouTube, so you have to pay it. So yeah, we lose about what is it? About 72% we don't get. We get about 28% of the total. So if I get $500 a month, you guys may have donated something like $1,500 in the month. That's why we have the PayPal link and the Ko-fi link because it's only a 2% fee on it, and the creator gets the rest of it. So that's yeah. So yeah, about 72% when it's all said and done. We only see about 28% total. Aaron Chow said, but the only chair that they haven't scratched is the one covered with velvet. They don't like scratching velvet because it's too slippery for their paws. We looked for a cover because we're going to put a cover on it, and if they destroyed it, it doesn't matter. And they had a velvet one, so maybe that's an idea. I'll look into it. Thank you, Mr. Aaron, Cat Dad. Let's see. I didn't see Sean either. Hey Jay, what's up, brother? Water squirter, when caught in the act, put a cover on it when not in use. Some cats detest alfoil. That will stop them. Provide something else like an old chair. Okay, good ideas, everyone. Yeah, well, they've got a huge one over here. Just over here, I'll show it to you. It's called like the world's largest scratching post. Hold on. They have this huge one, and it's I bought it a couple of years ago, and it's fantastic. It's worth every dollar. It is massive. Where is it? It's this is the one that I have. Yeah, like my cats are big, and they can't climb to the top of it. It looks like this. Now, in the photo, it looks pretty small, but in your house, it's huge. This is what I hit my head on. When I hit my head and I cut my eyebrow open, when I tripped and fell, I hit the corner of this. This is what I hit. So, um, yeah, I hit the sharp edge of that. But this is the one we have for our cats. It's great. So if you need a scratching post for your cats, look up that world's largest scratching post. It is massive, and the stuff on the outside, my cats have been clawing at it for years, and it still looks brand new. It looks like the day I bought it. It'll last you 10 years easily. It is well worth the money. Um, yeah, that hurt. I still got a scar on my eye. It's on this eye here. I've still got a scar that runs down here, and it's still a little sore, like where I whacked it. It's still a little tender, even a month or two later. Still a little bit like not super sore, but yeah, yeah. Um, I was in the middle of the night. I had been in court all day. I had gone to I had gone to the hospital to visit her. I come home, I did the live show, and then I was getting changed to go to bed at about 1 a.m. in the morning to get up to go to court again in the morning. And I put my leg through the tracksuit pants or like to go to bed, and I put my other leg through, but my other leg got caught up in the tracksuit pants because when your pant leg gets caught and it's not like stretched out, it's sort of like bunched up. I put my foot through expecting my whole leg just to go straight through the pant, and it didn't. It just hit like where it had bunched up, and I just fell because I put all my weight on that other leg expecting it to go straight through the pants, and it didn't. And as I put the weight down, I just went whack, and I hit just like went sideways, and I hit my TV cabinet, and then I smacked my head on this, and I woke up on the floor, and there was blood everywhere, and I was when you have an accident like that, and you're like, oh crap, how bad is this? And I was like, I'm really sore. That freaking hurt. Felt like I got smacked in the face with a brick. And I was like, I don't know how injured I am. And I touched my face like that, and my whole hand was covered in blood. My whole hand. And I was dripping blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor. And I was like, there's no one here. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I can't contact anyone because I'm home alone. And I was like, okay, what do I have to do? I have to somehow get the bleeding to stop. I have to tell someone what's happened. So I messaged a couple of family members, but they were asleep. And then I went to the bathroom. I irrigated the cut with saline things. I irrigated it really heavily, and then I put a lot of pressure on it. Went through a ton of paper towel, just drenched in blood for about an hour, and then it started to slow down. And I was so tired from being in court all day and then going to the hospital and doing all that. I was like, "You're not supposed to sleep when you've had a head injury." And I was like, well, I have to sleep because I'm freaking exhausted, but I don't know if I'm exhausted from the head injury or I'm exhausted from doing all the stuff during the day. So I went to bed. I shouldn't have done it, but I was so tired. I went to bed, and then I woke up in the morning, and there was blood all over my face and blood all over the sheets. And I went, I'm probably going to have to go get this looked at. So I had to take a day off, half a day. I did half a day at court. I came home, and then I went and got it looked at the hospital, and I was thought they were going to do stitches, but they didn't have to. They put these crimper things on my eyebrow, and they crimped it, and it's sort of got these microdermic needle pincher things, and it sticks into your skin, and they just grabbed my eyebrow and they sort of reefed it together and squished it together, and then they just did that. So it healed okay, but that was a hell of a night. That sucked. That was shit. That was a really bad. I have never ever ever had an accident like that. Ask Mrs. Ping. I don't hurt myself like in that way ever. I smack my feet on stuff all the time because I got very big feet. I got size 14 feet. So we got a small apartment, so I'm always smacking it on things. But I don't fall or cut myself or anything like that. I've never had a bad cut in 20 years or anything like that. So this was out of the normal. Carolina said, "Do you think they believed your story?" The hospital? No, probably not. Although my family thought it was funny. Butterfly stitches look like paper or something that pulls your skin together. I think that's what it was. Something like that. There were these little things that they cut out of a strip and then they put them on the eye. Yeah, so that was week 7 of the trial, and we went up to week 11. So yeah, everyone at court was like, all the court people were like, "Oh my god, look at your eye," because like my eye was all like bruised, and I had like purple bruising all on my temple and stuff, and they're like, "Holy shit, look at your face." So they were very kind. All the people at court were very, very kind. Chipmunk says, "I was babysitting when I was 16, 3 boys, and I wanted to get them wound up so they'd be ready for bed later. So I was playing hide and seek. I went to hide and ran into a brick chimney." There you go. 1K views. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gayla said, "I used them in the boxing club." Yeah, click the like button if you can. I would appreciate it. All right, let's check out what's going on in Melbourne. I want to see what's going on at this protest. Anything good going on? Let's have a look. I'm not seeing like, I mean, there's a lot of people. Let's have a look. A lot of photos from the Herald. These are from the Herald. A lot of police on horses. Let's check ABC. Let's see if they've got any updates on it. Yeah, let me see if I can find out if they've got any coverage. Several demonstrators assaulted during clash between rival protests in Melbourne. Well, that's always fun. I'm not seeing that they're doing any live coverage on the ABC tonight. Today. Yeah. No live coverage on the ABC. Probably because it is a Sunday. All right, let's head to another story. I want to see what's going on in the protests. All right, let's have a look. Anti-immigration protests live. Let's see what's going on. That was about a few minutes ago. What are they saying? Moment anti-immigration speaker leads crowd in chants of "Hail Australia." Yeah, okay. I don't really like the throwback to Germany. The footage captured a public speaker addressing the anti-immigration protesters. He blamed immigration for contributing to the extinction of white people and a decline in living standards. He says they're here to take everything you have at your expense. Yeah, I mean, I think we all think immigration is slightly too high. And I think we all understand the impact on the housing market, like renting and buying. And that I think we'd all like our countries to sort of slow down so that our citizens, people who are already citizens in our country, can have a fair go at the market. I don't think that we should have no immigration because that's how great, we've had a lot of good success stories from it. But I think we're all under a lot of pressure with the cost of living. The housing market's absolutely toasted, and immigrating hundreds of thousands or more people every year is not helping. I think right now it needs to be addressed. Forever, for a little while, I don't know. I don't get paid enough money to make those decisions, but Gayla said, "I raced my sister when I was a teenager. I turned to see how close she was, and when I turned back, I hit a lamppost, like out of cartoon." Chipmunk said, "Yeah, all right, let's go to a different story. Let's go to a different story." Oh, okay, we got to talk about this. What the hell? All right, we like stupid stories about dumb people. Well, I have one for you, and it is not. Why does this keep happening? This is like the third one we've read in like a month. Grandmother charged. Court charges grandmother of 11-year-old who gave birth. They say Muskogee County District Attorney's Office said an 11-year-old girl gave birth over the weekend, and the girl's stepfather is the baby's father. According to the DA, Janet Hudson told 2 News, DNA test revealed a 99% certainty Dustin Walker is the baby's father. What the hell? Let's watch the video if it'll play.
We now have an update on the case regarding an 11-year-old in Muskogee who gave birth earlier this month.
Nobody, not even the neighbors. They say things, but they don't know what was going on.
I'm Isabel Flores with 2 News Oklahoma. You just heard from the 11-year-old's grandmother, Michelle Justice, who we spoke to in an exclusive interview last week. She has just been placed under arrest for child neglect. This comes after it was found through a paternity test that the 11-year-old's stepfather was found to have a 99% DNA match to the baby she birthed.
I live next door. I have witnessed them go back and forth to their mama's house across the street. She has provided for their needs because they have no running water for the last 2 or 3 years.
Last week, I spoke with a neighbor who lives next to the house the 11-year-old and her siblings were removed from. She believes the entire family knew what was happening. The child's stepfather, Dustin Walker, and her mother, Cherie Walker, were also arrested last week on child neglect charges, according to an affidavit filed in Muskogee County. Authorities say the parents failed to provide medical care for their 11-year-old daughter, who was 36 weeks pregnant and delivered inside the home. Both parents claimed they didn't know she was pregnant. The child had not seen a doctor in over a year. The district attorney's office confirmed Justice faces 6 counts of child neglect. The affidavit states Justice lived across the street from her granddaughter, saw her almost daily, and was in regular contact, including the day she gave birth. It also states Justice cared for 5 other children in the same home, but failed to report the pregnancy.
I think Grandma thought she was doing what was right to help those kids. But what parent allows that?
In Muskogee, Isabel Flores, 2 News, Oklahoma.
That poor little girl, 11 years old, pregnant at around 10, and has given birth to a baby. That is her stepfather's child. What is wrong with people? That is just horrific. They say days after the confirmation of the baby's father, the court charged the 11-year-old grandmother, Michelle Justice, with 6 counts of child neglect. Yeah, damn fucking right. I mean, can we just shoot these people? That'd be great. If you get done with fiddling or diddling an 11-year-old, can we just put you in the firing squad? That'd be great. They said Hudson said the 11-year-old lived with Walker and her mother, Cherie Walker. Both are charged with child neglect. They should both be charged with gunshot to the head. And Hudson said new charges will now be added following the DNA results. What the hell? They're saying the Guardians are currently in the Muskogee County Jail. They both have a $100,000 bond in place, should be $40 million each. And they said, like I said, I do anticipate filing additional charges and amending that information shortly. Yeah, they said, according to the DA, I was horror stricken to find out it's an 11-year-old little girl who's given birth and that she had no medical care and she had no one to be with her. I mean, imagine being 11 years old and being pregnant and having to go through a birth of a child without medical intervention. Now, I understand you can say women and young girls have been having having babies for millennia outside of hospitals. That is true. That is true. That has happened. Um, but I remind you that our medical care is there are some mishaps. People have been sued. Babies have died. Babies have also died outside of hospitals. So it happens, unfortunately. But an 11-year-old child has complications for being so young where that medical care would have been a good thing to have for her. But at the same time, she should never have been pregnant. That is crazy to think 11 years on this earth and she gave birth to her stepfather's child. I'm not even sure at 11 she could comprehend what was going on fully. Poor girl, man. What the hell? It's horrific. There was actually a story in the paper the other day. We were just talking about like births outside of hospitals and in hospitals and how both have had deaths attributed to it. There was a story in the Australian paper the other day about a a woman who did a home birth at her home and only got a doula from TikTok. She hired a doula from TikTok to do it over live streaming on the phone. So they didn't have anyone in the house when the woman went into labor. They gave birth to the child, but the child died. The child died. It actually suffocated from something something to do with the birth and some of the stuff that comes out, it had gotten into the baby's airway. And they said that if the child had been in a hospital, that the medics at the hospital would know how to clear the airway and get the baby to breathe again. And they would have been able to do it fast enough that the baby wouldn't have had any brain damage or died. But because it happened in a home scenario and the parents were inexperienced and this doula didn't know what was going on either and is not medically trained, they didn't know how to solve the issue. So the poor mother sent a photo to the doula saying, "The baby's blue. I don't know what's going on. Why is it sick?" And the doula basically said, "Take it to hospital." But the baby was already dead. The baby had already died. This was like a couple of hours after birth. Um, yeah, very sad story. So you hear things like that, and then you hear about this 11-year-old girl giving birth without medical intervention, no checkups, no anything. But she could have easily died too. So, I mean, we could have been dealing with the death of an 11-year-old during birth. So it's horrific. These two are scumbags. I don't know why this bitch is like smirking in the photo. What's this pose you're doing? Like, why can't you stand straight onto the camera? Do you have some sort of spinal disorder that you must be slumped to your right? Like, what is going on? These two, straight to jail, straight to firing squad. Uh, they are disgusting people, disgusting humans. Uh, oh, that's good, Marilyn Landis. I'm sure there's good results both ways, and I'm sure there's competent people in both fields. Like I said, women have been giving birth in fields and huts for millennia. So, it can be fine under some circumstances, but it sounds like these people chose some unexperienced or inexperienced person from TikTok, and it didn't go well from them, and they lost their baby, which is very sad. SP Mom said, "Why do they always look like that?" I don't know. Bumpkin is the word that comes to mind. Bumpkin. Mimi says they look like they live on the hills, have eyes. They do. They do look like they might abduct backpackers. Carolina said, "I admit I don't understand men, but women who sit by and let this happen, I will never come close to understanding." Yeah, I know. Just like Madeline Soto's mother. Laurie said, "We have grandkids around the same age, Marilyn. I have an 11-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy." Gayla said, some train, some just claim to be doulas. Yeah, I think some have no qualifications or any type of medical or other type of training that you can have, nursing background or something, to give this type of advice to a pregnant woman. 99.9% match. Hey, Jerry Springer would take that in a heartbeat. A 99.9% match. All right, let's play this one.
Nobody, not even the neighbors. They say things, but they don't know what was going on.
Tonight, we're hearing from the grandmother of an 11-year-old girl who gave birth over the weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Naomi Kitt.
And I'm TJ Eckert. The Muskogee County District Attorney's Office charged the 11-year-old's mother, Sherry Walker, and stepfather, Dustin Walker, for child neglect.
2 News Oklahoma's Isabel Flores listened to the grandmother, who believes that people have the wrong idea about her family.
I went to Dustin Walker's house. The assistant district attorney said the 11-year-old lived there with him, her stepfather, and biological mother, Cherie.
Thank you.
Her next door neighbor shouted to me nobody was home, so I talked to her instead.
This is getting to me, and I've talked. I said, they're not doing nothing. They're not helping them kids, and I've called.
While I spoke with Cheryl Atkins, I noticed this lady filming across the street, but I continued on with the interview.
They have no running water for the last 2 or 3 years. They have dogs in the house. They have cats in the house. 6 children.
When we got to the home, there was some trash in the yard, a broken window, and a bungee cord holding the door locked.
The oldest is 11, and everybody else is younger.
Once Atkins and I finished our conversation, I approached the woman who's filming.
Hi there.
I found out her name was Michelle, and the 11-year-old's grandmother.
We didn't know this was happening. None of us.
How do you think your granddaughter got pregnant?
She keeps telling us that it was the little 12-year-old boy that I used to keep.
Get lost. You know, that was a straight, bold-faced lie. Did you see how when she asked her, how do you think that the little girl got pregnant? She looks down and then she's all like, oh, she keeps telling us, pause, it's a 12-year-old. Half of that was true. I think the little girl had been telling them that it was a stepfather and they didn't do anything. And I reckon, like, you know, when they say people leak the truth, that was it there. But she lied on that last bit, saying it was like some 12-year-old or whatever. I think that little girl had been telling them that that stepfather had been doing that, and they didn't do shit. That's why they got charged with the crime now. So she is just as complicit in that little girl's abuse, 100%. There is no other way to look at it. So straight to jail for you too, and a 22 to the head. Like, get out of here. Get out. I'm so sick of, like, people abusing children and thinking like it's all okay and some sort of joke. Get out. Get out. We don't want you in our communities. We don't want you anywhere around anyone. You can go to the hole. You can go to the freaking isolation in the jail, because everyone in jail will want to kill you. So you can go there and spend the rest of your life in there. Get out. That's I think it's his mother. So no wonder why she gave a bullcrap answer. It's a grandma, yeah. Stupid.
I babysat. She keeps telling everybody that it was him. They got curious. That's all I know.
I spoke to Muskogee's Assistant District Attorney, Janet Hudson.
It's our understanding the child had not seen a doctor in over 1 year.
They keep saying that we knew about my granddaughter's pregnancy, and we did not.
First got word of this case, what was your initial?
Shut up. Shut up. Stop talking. I mean, we didn't know about her pregnancy. Shut up. An 11-year-old pregnant. There's a woman that I saw the other day that's a friend of ours who was just about to give birth a couple months later, and she was waddling like a penguin. And this girl's normally like a pretty thin girl, and she was waddling around. So I don't believe that you didn't notice an 11-year-old suddenly was waddling like a penguin before she freaking had the baby. Like, stop it. How dumb do you think we are? We've all seen pregnant women. It's like, it's not like it's a crazy thing. She's 11, not 43 and 250 pounds where you wouldn't notice it. She's 11. Oh, 10 at the time. Like, come on. We ain't dumb. Stop it. Oh, we didn't know. They keep telling us we should have known. No, you knew. You knew. That's why she didn't go to a doctor in a year. You all knew. You are all complicit. You all need to go straight to jail. Here. I want to talk about this. Falson's mom. Sorry, I didn't see it before. You broke your arm. You've had a bad run of breakages and accidents, my friend. I'm sorry. I thought you just recovered from your ribs. That's horrible. You need to get some sage and burn it around your home and around yourself because you've had some really awful accidents this year, my friend. I hope you're going to be okay. I hope they set your arm and you're doing all right. I hope everything's okay with you. Is that not the mum's mum, not stepdad? Oh, it's the mum's mum. It doesn't matter. I don't care who it is. Same. I hate morning says plus growing out of her clothes, right? But bubble wrap here. We're gonna have to bubble wrap for son's mum. Chipmunk says so sad. She's old enough to say the facts. I know the mum knew, but how much she was involved. They were all involved. They have to have been because you don't just like what were you? They're not going to be like, oh, 11-year-old daughter, geez, you look fat at the moment. Like, they're not going to be like, why did you put on like an extra 40 pounds? Like, what's. No. I mean, I think we'd all be pretty stunned to see an 11-year-old that's walking around with like, a protruding belly like that. I think medical intervention would have happened long before then. Like, I know there's women that are giving birth in like plain bathrooms and didn't know they were pregnant and thought it was a bad burrito. I know, but not an 11-year-old. Like, it's going to be so obvious. They're probably going to use the excuse that they didn't know that she was fertile, like had a period. That's what I'm going to bet. They're going to put up a defense. Chipmunk said, that's a small house for that many people. What were the sleeping arrangements? Obviously, with Daddy, with the girl, it's very Madeline Soto. It's very like Jen Soto saying, you guys are annoying me at night. Go sleep in Daddy's room. Far out. Carolina said, I bet he has a record. Record of sleeping with a 10-year-old. That's what he has. A record of that.
Reaction. I was horror stricken to find out that it's an 11-year-old little girl who's given birth and that she had no medical care and she had no one to be with her.
This is getting to me. And I've talked, I said, they're not doing nothing. They're not helping them kids. And I've called about the dogs, called about the children.
The assistant district attorney tells me a paternity test has been conducted, and she expects the results within 2 weeks.
Well, now we know the paternity results, and it is the stepfather. Jerry Springer would be having a field day, but terrible. That poor little girl. And I mean, it's not just the abuse that happened. You've now derailed her life. You've now destroyed her like teenage years because now she has to face a completely different set of challenges and stigma. You've really messed that poor girl up, unfortunately. It's very sad. I feel very sorry for that little girl. Yeah, I mean, I know it happens sometimes, like, but not an 11-year-old girl. I don't believe so. Mimi said, I was freaked out at 12 getting my monthly. You know dang well a 11-year-old feeling a baby would have said something. Oh, 100%. She'd be like, why is my tummy kicking? Or like, why am I getting cramps in my stomach? Guarantee it. And the fact that she had a beach ball on her stomach, I think would be a dead giveaway. I Hate Morning says the government social services let her down too. Definitely. Oh, that's exactly what he is. Like I said, straight to jail for him, and then we'll see if he gets to the spicy chair at some point. Chipmunk said a young child would be noticed having physical changes, especially at that age, at 11. I wouldn't expect an 11-year-old girl to be like super developed, not like a 16-year-old girl type thing. Um, she would be in that very intermediate stage of development. It would be just super obvious. It would be not something that easily hideable. That's why they did like when you don't take her for a medical appointment for a year, children get sick all the time, and they are like living petri dishes. They are always getting ill. The fact that she never saw a doctor in 12 months, it should tell you everything you need to know. They knew what was going on. They were complicit. They wanted to keep her away from any mandatory reporter. So that's why they kept her away from a doctor's office, because if a doctor suspected that an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old was pregnant, they would report it to DHS instantly like that. So that's why they did that. Yeah, I don't think she was allowed out the house. Yep. Yep. Winter still said he could have been messing with her for years. Probably, and then maybe didn't realize that she had started ovulating and then got her pregnant. At least, in a in a roundabout way, it stopped it for her. I know it's a horrible way of doing that, but at least it brought it to light. Some of these girls are victimized until they're like 16, 17, 18, until they can leave home and get away from there. At least in a very horrific way, it stopped it all. So if there's any silver lining here, is that from at least this point on, that little girl's life won't be as traumatic. Yeah, and it's taken away her perpetrators, which is good news. Chipmunk said, "This is where I'm concerned. Some girls, 9 or 10, are getting their period." I've heard this going on for decades. There's some girls that get it very young. I think my sister, I remember when she got hers, and she was very young, like 9, 10, something like that, quite young. Because I remember, because we were late to school because she was crying in the bathroom for 45 minutes while my mom had to explain everything to her and explain what was going on. So that morning we got to school at like at like 10 a.m. and I had to just sit around going, "Why are we late today?" And mom's like, "Shut up, it's not got anything to do with you." Yeah, so that's how I know what that was about. Chipmunk says, "I just hope this hadn't happened before." That was my point. Oh no, it probably had. I'm guessing it probably did happen before. SP Mom said, "Yep, in the 90s, young girls get them and link it to fast food estrogen." Yeah, I don't know why my sister would have got it. Um, Gayla said, "My daughter was 10 at primary school and had to use the teacher's toilet as it was the only one with a sanitary bin." Weird. I thought they would have them in all female toilets, no matter how old or young now, like because there are young girls who get it. Rachel said, "And it saves the younger kids in the home." That's true. The other kids are now out of there as well. Chipmunk said, "Milk, they gave cows hormones." That doesn't make any sense though, because the uptake in milk alternatives have been really high over the last 20 years. Things like soy milk, oat milk, um, coconut milk, all these type of things have been surging in popularity, especially with children, over the last 2 decades. So traditional milk drinking has actually gone down over the last couple of decades. People are drinking all these you know soy and uh, I don't know what the other ones are called, almond and all these other type of oat milks and stuff. So hey, Emily. Good night, my friends. Good to see you again. Gayla said, "My daughter has never had milk in her life as she's allergic." Interesting. Permaculture says almond milk. Right. There's a lot of it. The increase in that. So I don't know if I buy into that theory, because that might have explained it in the 80s, 70s, when drinking milk was a normality in life. But now it's a not it was not the percentage of kids who drink milk on a daily basis is actually way lower compared to what it was in the 90s and 2000s. So SP1 said milk additives are bad too. Tannins is toxic. Raw milk is the only milk you should consume. Raw milk is illegal in Australia. Raw milk, you can get it, but it's illegal to consume it. So they sell it as a health product where, I don't know, do you bathe in it or something or make soap with it or something? I don't know. But they sell it in health food stores as a health additive or something. You can't buy it at a supermarket. You can't buy raw milk here. You can get the one that's, what was that gold milk we got that was like so good? What was that gold milk that time? One time we picked up the wrong bottle at Costco and we got this milk that was pasteurized but not homogenized, or homogenized but not pasteurized or something. And it had like the cream on top. Because Ping had never seen the milk with the cream on top because I'm too I'm a bit young for that. That sort of stopped before I was born. And I picked up this bottle and I just went, oh, it's milk. I brought it home and I put it in the fridge and I opened it and I went to pour it out to make a protein shake and it just went clump. And I went, the hell's going on here? And I was like, Mrs. Ping, it's off. Like, how is this off? We just bought it. And we were looking at it and it had this huge layer of cream on top. And she's like, you have to shake it. She goes, you have to shake it. It's not mixed in. Like the cream is separated. And that was the only time I've ever seen it. But that one is it's still pasteurized but not homogenized, or it's still homogenized but not pasteurized, but it's not raw milk. Raw milk you can only get from health food shops or something. So Marjorie said that's non-homogenized. That must be the one we got. Not homogenized, but is pasteurized. But yeah, that was funny. Ping just tried to pour it out, and all these like clumps of cream came out, and I was like, "It's off! What the hell?" And then we realized you have to shake the milk, and then yeah. A2 milk at Costco. A2 milk is not raw milk. It's been pasteurized and homogenized. Woman of Steel said you can't buy it here either, only on the farm. Yeah, you can't get it here. You sort of can get it. There are, like I said, health food stores that sell it under the counter as a beauty product, and then people drink it and they shouldn't. But yeah, pasteurization kills the bacteria. That's right. Chipmunk said it's on my bucket list to try raw milk. Why not just get the cow and just suck on the teat yourself? I mean, you can make a TikTok. You might be famous, although they might take it down and be like, this is corn. This is some sort of freaky corn. We're going to ban you from TikTok. Laurie said there, Sean. Hey, Sean. No lactose? You have lactose-free milk? Ping drinks 50-50 milk. So I drink the 3% milk because I don't want to have the full cream and I don't want to have light milk either, because light milk literally tastes like milky water. It's like someone poured in like this much milk and then filled the rest up with water. So I drink 3%. So it's a little bit of fat, but not too much. Chipmunk says, I want to have the old time experience. It's pretty suspicious after what I just suggested. Camel milk is expensive. I'm concerned how you know that. Chipmunk says, I love goat milk too. That was my number 2. We may need to keep you away from the animals. You are not, you may end up like that guy in the UK. There was a guy in the UK who got arrested for fiddling with cows. Did you guys hear this story? There was a guy in the UK, a guy who owned animals on a farm, kept coming back in the morning and his animals were like super distressed. And he's like, what's going on? And it would happen every couple of weeks. So he set up a camera and he caught this guy sneaking into his, into his farm and molesting the animals, right? So they set up a silent alarm and they waited, and they were going to wait till the silent alarm got tripped. and then it happened, and they ran out into the field and caught this guy, and they arrested him for trying to impregnate a cow. That's what he was doing. He was trying to impregnate a cow. Woman of Steel said, I love milk. If I could have one thing on a desert island, it would be a solar fridge and milk. Mad cow disease. That's probably how it started, Jay. That's probably how it started. Buggery, it's a word. Yeah, that's probably the word. Mimi says nasty. Yes. Gayla said, I watched that investigation. It was horrible. Made me sick. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Chipmunk said, that's not how you tenderize beef. Aren't beef the boy cows, though? Would you want to tenderize it? Yeah, I don't think that's the way you do it. Laurie said, I don't like milk that much. Not that much. There you go. Marilanda's put a cow emoji. Yeah. Sean said, humans shouldn't drink milk after infancy, really. We are one of the only animals that do so. That is true. That is true. All right. Let me check one other story that we're going to look at, and then I'll see if we've got any others. How do we always get onto child cases? I blame you guys. I really do. You know, I'm going to be so happy. In like a week, we're going to be away from Erin Patterson. We'll be done with Erin for now. Even if she gets an appeal, it'll be sometime next week. So I am going to be very, very happy. Let's head to... this is a story I wanted to do last week. It's Shayla Gutierrez. Have you guys heard of this story out of California? So hold on, I want to take it to you. Because I was going to do this last week and then I didn't. And we should catch up on it.
After going missing in Lancaster, and the sheriff's department says her husband has now fled the country.
Eyewitness News reporter Annabelle Munoz is live in the newsroom with the very latest on this. Annabelle.
Colleen and David, the LA County Sheriff's Department says the body of 33-year-old Shayla Gutierrez was found in the Angeles National Forest 3 days ago. Gutierrez's husband, who is suspected of killing her, is believed to be in Peru. From Peru, Helga Rosillo calls on U.S. authorities for help to capture the man suspected of killing her daughter, 33-year-old Shayla Gutierrez. Her family says Gutierrez's husband, suspected of killing her, gave varying accounts of her whereabouts when she went missing over a week ago. Gutierrez's sister says he first said ICE had taken her, later that she left with another man, and a third account that she'd suffered an accident. In Lancaster, friends and neighbors also sought answers. One shared this surveillance video. Authorities say this is Gutierrez's husband, Josimar Cabrera, dragging something large wrapped in fabric. Days later, investigators say they found Gutierrez's body over the side of an embankment in the Angeles National Forest, wrapped in similar material. Very depressed, but I have to be strong for my grandchildren, says Rosillo. According to Univision 34, the Peruvian consulate says Cabrera arrived in Peru with the couple's 3 children, but that Peruvian authorities could not detain him because there was no warrant for his arrest. At a vigil in Lancaster, the women and neighbors who knew Gutierrez held signs that read, "Justice for Shayla," and not one more. They said a prayer in her memory and called for justice in her name, describing her as an unconditional friend, a loving mother, and a hard worker.
Estamos acá sus amigos porque ella no tenía familia aquí en Estados Unidos.
Because she didn't have family here in the U.S. We are her voice in this moment, and that is what...
Another story of a guy killing a woman and then fleeing the country for a woman who doesn't have family in the country. Where have we heard this story before? This one has a good ending, though, because in Peru, Interpol has him under arrest. He handed himself into authorities. Well, there you go. So, what a dumbass. Went all the way to Peru and then handed himself in. Congratulations. You just played yourself. You basically went out to Peru, fled the country, and then just went, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hand myself in. You know what we say on this channel? You don't have to be smart to commit crimes or murder. And this guy is a prime example for you. I just went to Peru and then handed myself into Interpol. So there you go, in custody. He will be deported eventually. They're saying here it's going to take a while for that extradition to happen. I'm just trying to find an update. Yeah, so it'll take several months to extradite him to the USA. And they said there's a current order in place. He'll be kept in Peruvian custody pending his extradition. And yeah, there you go. There you go. He will eventually make it back to the USA to face those charges, and Shayla will have justice eventually. It'll be a slow burn on this one, but it'll get there. This story I picked up about a week ago, and I don't know why we didn't end up doing it, but I remember when they found her body in the forest, and I kept saying to myself, we've got to do this story. We've got to do it. And then I didn't end up doing it. Probably got caught up with something to do with Aaron. Probably the hearing last week, and then I forgot. All right, let's play this one.
We have more breaking news. The Lancaster man suspected of killing his wife earlier this month has turned himself in to authorities in Peru. An extradition warrant had been filed for 36-year-old Josimar Cabrera Canejo before he turned himself in. Josimar is accused of using a knife to kill his wife, 33-year-old Shayla Cabrera. Prosecutors say it happened August 10th at the family's Lancaster apartment. Surveillance video captured Cabrera dragging a large item wrapped in fabric. Shayla's body was later found in the Angeles National Forest. Prosecutors say the suspect had fled to Peru with the couple's children. The 3 young boys are now in custody of a family member.
Well, glad to hear the children are getting looked after. That's good. This loser will get back to the USA. And are they concealing his identity? Did we get a name? No, we got a name, right? Cabrera. That's his name. Yeah. Josimar. I'm probably saying it wrong because my Spanish is terrible. Josimar Cabrera. He's 36. Was arrested in Lima in Peru. So there you go. Not hiding his identity. We have his name, and we have him.
More breaking news.
Hey, shush. We have him here. Here's his photo. Being the cuck that he is, basically played himself by running from the country and then just handing himself in. What a weirdo. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not covered in this one from Interpol. Does he have a girlfriend? I don't know. Let me check. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let me double check. Well, he had his wife that was found dead. I don't see anything about a second person, but it's possible. Tends to be in these cases. There's always a third person that that ends up being a sort of catalyst in these type of things. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, cheating. I don't see anything. Just that he's accused of killing his wife, fled the country to Peru after her body was located. So after suspected of killing the young mother, he allegedly took off with their children to Peru. But I don't see anything. I mean, but it could be. But that body, that Ring doorbell footage is haunting. Where you see him dragging her body out of her home. I don't know, but we see it a lot. Hey, by the way, I want to thank my friend Carla for the super chat. Thank you very much. So I want to thank Laurie for being a member. I want to thank Danny for the 1K views. Thank you. That's a good night tonight for 1K views. Thank you to all those viewers. I appreciate it. I think that must have mean we were featured on the front page of YouTube again. So that is good news. I want to thank Kathy and I want to thank Carla. Thank you very much. We are currently in the stage of saving up for our next big trial, which is next year, which is Samantha Murphy. We expect to be away for another few months. This trial is supposed to go for a very similar timeline as Aaron's, and it's in another rural location in Victoria, not in Melbourne again. It's in Ballarat. So we're heading out to Ballarat next year for Samantha Murphy, Patrick Oren Stevenson's trial. So we are saving up for that one again. So it'll be another costly trial again. So I appreciate it. The savings account is open again. Danny Mitchell says closer. No, it's not closer. It's about the same distance as going to Morwell, but in the opposite direction. So we went out to Morwell for Erin's trial. That was 2 hours east of Melbourne. We're going out to Ballarat, which is about 3 hours west of Melbourne. So a little further out, but on the western side of Victoria. So yeah, 2 rural cases. Chipmunk says, I'm learning Australian through you and the chatters. I don't know how much Australian you're going to learn. Gayla said, I can't wait for Samantha's case to come to court. Yeah, it'll be a good one. I'm currently doing some background stuff on it. You guys all know the rules with Australian court cases. When they are in the trial phase, we basically get locked in. We basically get refrained from talking about it until the trial happens. But I can tell you, I am doing some background things that I'm unable to report on. But I can tell you that I'm doing my research. That's all I can tell you. But I am getting ready for it for next year. Gayla said, I did panning for gold there. That's right. You can do panning for gold up there. Very big gold. They had a big gold rush in the beginning of the 1900s, I think. And there was a huge 1800s. I don't know. And there you can still go gold panning up there. A guy found $1 million gold nugget up there about 3 years ago. So it still happens out there. I'll show you here, Ballarat. Yeah, this was one of them. I don't think this was the $1 million one. But yeah, here we go. So this guy had never been prospecting before, just went and bought a I think this is a guy that owns a gold shop where you buy the equipment. But one of his clients just came in and bought a metal detector, went out, started metal detecting, and found this nugget of gold just on his first try. Said that he just found it not far away from the shop. Isn't that mental? It's probably been sitting there for years, and he just went, oh, I don't know, I'll just try over here. And he found this nugget, which they believe is worth several $100,000. So that was a cool story. And then there was another one found just outside of Ballarat not long ago, this one. So this giant palm size bit of gold was found out there not long ago. So it does happen still. Not super common to find the big ones. People normally find the little ones, but every now and then someone finds a huge hunk of gold out there. So it still happens. Still happens for people out there. All right. We're going to wrap up. It's been a good show tonight. Over 1,000 views tonight. That is a good Saturday night. I am happy with that. I hope everyone's had a good night tonight on the channel. I have a family function that I have to get to in about an hour and a bit. So I have to close up for the night. But it's been good to see you all. Mimi says, after here, going to head over to watch Hidden True Crime. Lauren and Dr. John are discussing the Emmanuel Haro case. Yeah, someone sent that to me the other day. Who was it? It was someone from the chat. They sent it to me, showing me that they were talking about it. So, hey, I still hold out hope that they would like to have me on and talk about Aaron Patterson. So, I hope they will one day. Lindy says, good show. Thank you, Ping. Thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed my really strange story about the chicken at the start of the show. One of the craziest things that's ever happened. I've never had someone just hand over cash for no reason. It was bizarre. Yeah, I will see you tomorrow. I'll be back. Tomorrow's Monday. I will be on. And what are we going to do? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We've got always stories to keep you occupied. But if you're at the protest today, I hope you get home uninjured. I think it's a democratic right in our country to be able to protest about whatever you want. And I hope no one gets injured. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Love you all. By the way, thank you to those people who were so kind to donate to the channel. Mr. Dan Yee, Laurie, Kathy, Carla, and I'm missing some person? And Nick. Thank you very much. And Sean from yesterday. I appreciate you all. You're all very kind. And we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night for more true crime with Nights with Ping. Good night, everyone. Bye.